Welcome back, everyone. Today is the day after the great heat wave, so I am feeling a little bit better than yesterday, gonna be honest. But I still have my windows open and the fan running. So again, if there's background noises, I'm sorry, but I have to still kind of cool down the room from yesterday. 36 degrees, man, that was insane. But whatever, we are once again back in WARNO League Season 4. And this is my second game against SnowWolfie on Mount River. And as you can see, I have once again chosen an East German division, this time 9th Panzer. I actually can't remember whether he banned 7th Panzer this time or not. I'm sorry. I have forgotten. This time, obviously, he picked first, and he picked 79Y. 79, yeah. And yeah, I counter-picked 9th Panzer. The thing is, I was very smart, and I chose the map this time, but then when I was picking division, I was thinking about a different map, because for some reason I thought that I picked Vertigo, even though I picked Mount River, so that was kind of bruh. But, well, yeah, 9th Panzer should be good enough on either map, luckily. It was still a little bit funny that, like, you know, I picked a map and then I forget what map I picked. But oh well, it is what it is. 79, yeah, extremely good division as well right now. Honestly, one of the best in my opinion, because BMP2s are still broken. Because for whatever reason, Eugene decided to, like, nerf all autocannons a little bit, but then nerfed it 20 mils extra hard, while the 30 mils were left and the 25 mils, the Bradley's one, were left as is. I mean, the Bradley really isn't a problem, but why would you leave the BMP and also the Warrior as is? Like, what? So, 79 yeah is still extremely capable. But 9th Panzer, also even after the nerfs, I still think it's a great division. I honestly do not understand how anybody could think that T-72 divisions are bad, with all the insanely great tools they still get in their arsenal. I don't know. But, well, we will see how this game goes. I want to try the standard deployment that I always do, or almost always do on this map, and deploy a hardcore on the right side. And then push through sign. I know that SnowWolfie likes to go for the other strategy of pushing through on the left side, or on his right side, so through Anna and Paul. Though I wasn't sure whether he does it every time. So I didn't want to, like, overinvest into the left side, and then leave the right side completely undefended, or the center, for example, because that would be kind of bad. That's also why I was thinking quite a long time, and also why I repositioned the Mi-8 from the right to the left side, because I wanted to see that if I see a lot of stuff coming down the left-hand side, then I already know that it's going to be a hardcore push on the left, because obviously he's not going to have like 10 or 15 units going down this lane just to defend. That doesn't make any sense. While on the other hand, if I don't see anything, then I can be sure that he's going to try to go to the right side, because also, I mean, I have been doing this fighting on the right-hand side for a fairly long time now. So you might expect that from me as well. But yeah, it's the standard mind games of the early game, or the deployment rather, you know, where your enemy might do it, but he also might not do it. Maybe he will counter you, and then if you counter him, you kind of haven't countered each other at all. So it's definitely an interesting part of RTSs that I actually really enjoy, honestly, as long as the game balance isn't too cheesy. And I think at the moment it's kind of fine. There have been, like, it's not perfect, but if you think that this is bad, like, you haven't been there in the dark ages. Like, Jesus Christ. I remember the days of Airborne meta and Dragon meta. Oh, God. To be fair, it was all ATGMs that weren't able to miss. But, well, anyway, let's go over the deployment itself. So, 2 of the small Aufklärer squads going to the left and to the center, into the tower here, as always, into the church. The Mi-8, yeah, I already said what it's for. Then I have 2 Forgos, because famously 9th doesn't get any concourses, which is a little bit obviously not the best if you're fighting BMP2s and T80s, because I'm pretty sure that the Fagot cannot one-shot the BMP2 because you need to have like at least 14 pen more than the 14 pen heat pen more than the armor, and the BMP2 has 4 frontal armor, which, you know, I would have really liked if the BMP2 would have been nerfed by just giving it 3 frontal armor, because having 4 frontal armor is just a bit... It's obviously rough because it's like an abstraction, but I still think it's too much. And this would have greatly helped with the BMP2 balance, but whatever. So 2 Fagots, Mordschützen in the BMP1, going to the left side as well. Then the girlfriend Sturm S going to this forest patch, because the good thing is the Sturm, or the Kokon, the ATGM itself, is so fast that it can actually kill stuff before it goes into here. Because he gets the good side, more or less, in a sense of he has this reinforcement road into the center that is covered by the buildings in the forest, while I don't. But as I said, the Kokon is such a fast ATGM that it can still hit his units there, because the Fagot is just too slow, and I mean, it has also has the lower range, so yeah, it actually can't even do anything there. Yeah. Sorry if you hear the sirens. That's life when you live next to a main road. Also an eagle to the left side and a command to capture the +2 zone here, and then the big attack going on the right hand side with Mod Aufklärer into the tower there. Fagot, 2 Mordschützen in BMP1, 2 T-72 moves, Schildka, and a coup. So here I didn't see anything coming in here, so I thought that, oh, maybe he is like rerouting his attack to the right side. But then I thought that, well, hold on. But if he has a big attack going here, it's going to be like T80, like 1 T80, 1 or 2 T55s, and a bunch of BMP2s. So it's going to take some time until he arrives there. And I also haven't seen anything here yet with the Mod Aufklärer, which is already in a powerful position for recon. So I wasn't sure. Fagot, by the way, also going in this building, because I saw that this building is actually pretty powerful. You can see like the line of sight is cutting off this reinforcement, or not reinforcement road, but this road here. It's very important. Now I saw 2 TO55s on the right side, which was a bit weird, because that would kind of indicate that he wants to try something on the right hand side, because why would you otherwise deploy 2 TO55s? I don't think it makes a lot of sense to deploy it then defensively in the opener. Like, 1 Concourse is a lot better, and the Tunguska as well. Just like a very, very weird deployment, but then I saw the T80 IZD on the left side, and the BMP2s. So that means that the attack is definitely going to go here. Unfortunately, one-shots my BMP1, because I didn't see it at this point in time, I just saw it later, after it sniped the Mordschützen. Which is very unfortunate, because the Mordschützen with their 80 pen RPG could have been a real nuisance to him here. But this is one of the disadvantages also of 9th, that you don't get Mordschützen in the BTRs, which could have been here a lot sooner. Though to be fair, that would have also been more expensive. And now you can see I'm just evacuating the left-hand side, because like I don't stand a chance with the units I have here against a T80 and like 2 BMP2s plus all the other forces he has there. Put the Mi-8 very, very aggressively here into the middle, because I saw Tunguska here, then a big push on the left-hand side, so I assumed that most of the AA will be around here and there with the Tunguska, which, again, I don't know why. There's like 1 Tunguska there and 2 TO55s, but I mean, I guess it worked because I didn't push through here, but then again, I didn't want to push through here anyway, and I'm just pushing into the center, because the center is the +2 sector, so it's way more important. The 72 might get a snipe. No, it misses. Of course it misses. The Fagot might get a snipe though. Slightly too late. I think that's an eaglet that was able to unload. But yeah, now the Mordschützen are moving in. I'm keeping the BMP1s a little bit further out so that they don't get sniped by the Spetsnaz GRU. Fagot here engaging the T80. I mean, the T80 has their front armor, so it will only take 1 damage even if the Fagot hits, and well, it doesn't even hit, lol. This Fagot is now in a bit of a rough spot, because the Spetsnaz GRU has pushed up, and there's TO55s also coming up, so this area is honestly under a big threat now, and the other reinforcements will also take quite some time to arrive. I did buy in a T-72 move to go into this position, because I wanted to cut him off from moving down this road, and then the T-72 move in this position. You can see it has a perfect view down this road here. You can get some nice side shots. Fago is also giving him like a rough go here though, because it's providing some nice suppression damage, and the Aufklärer does kill a BMP-2. So he has to beat the, or not, well, he doesn't have to beat the retreat, but the T-80 ICD is just routed, so he doesn't have a choice. The Fago might even hit, and I think that was a side armor hit, not a rear armor hit though. So a lot of damage on the ICD done, that's very nice. Spetsnaz GRU in the center does die, also very weird to just deploy like one Spetsnaz GRU on its own in the center. I think the GSR recon squads are way too valuable for this. Called in the SU-22 because I thought that if I already got a kill on the BMP-2 and good damage on the T-80, it would be very nice for my momentum to just finish off the T-80 ICD early on. But then I lost line of sight because it's routed behind the buildings there. So yeah, unfortunate. TO-55 doesn't get BMP-1. That's what the TO-55s are very, very good for. Sniping BMPs, especially BMP-1s. Mi-24 should have microed it better and left it here instead of pushing it forward. Spetsnaz GRU are still moving in, but they're just moving into my Aufklärer and they'll snipe the Sturm, which is unfortunate. But they will go down here to something. I don't know what though. Well, I guess spoilers. Ah, the Mi-24 does help. Yeah, so Spetsnaz GRU is down. More reinforcements came in here. You can see I also left one T-72 M1 sitting in this forest patch because I didn't want him to start pushing through here. So I have to move here, M1 here. The SPW is moving into the sector. I forgot that it's amphibious and so it's moving through the water instead of over the land. So, well, yeah, that happened. Also pushed in BRM1 so that I can get some better recon information with its excellent optics. The Modschützen here have also been pushed up quite far to the front. With the support of the Storm, this should have been a good position, but now without the Storm, it's obviously a little bit tougher, will be tougher to hold. MiG-29 comes in to strafe the Mi-24, but the Mi-24 has been landed, so it didn't get the kill, and the Coup gets a hit in return. No kill, unfortunately, because the Shilka was too far away. But yeah, the center now is very well defended, also with the Modschützen, the RPG-27, excellent AT launcher, because it gets 21 pen and the tandem trait. Yeah, only 500 meter range, but honestly, that's like such a dumb thing to say. Like, Jesus Christ, you get 21 penetration for 500 meter range and 24 rate of fire. Like, if this would have also have high range, this squad would be like ridiculously overpowered. And it is already very good because it also gets the, you know, standard Modschützen double machine gun and resolute for 50 points. Like, that's very nice. And then obviously the BMP-2s that you get with them on top is just fantastic. Hiding them in the forest here to, well, because as I said, they have the lower range, so I want to use them more in an ambush position. T-72 move gets a nice hit on the TO-55, but gets a second shot as well, so nice kill. Very important. And here, like, I don't really have control over this area, but at least I have stopped his push here. Because I didn't want him to get into Ivan, because that's also a +2 sector. And he is already almost 400 points ahead. I don't really want him to get more. The BRDM here kills my BMP, but the BMP kills the BRDM actually with its like last shots that it fired before it died. Called in also some urns for some anti-infantry support. And now decided to just push in here, because I knew that most of his investment was on the left side. Well, there was pretty much nothing in the middle, and a few units on the right hand side, of which I have killed several now. So I should be good to at least try to push, and the more pressure I exert in this area, the less he can do on the left side. Or rather, the less he can buy to reinforce the left side. Calling a rocket plane to kill the GRU. Unfortunately, he was able to get out just in time, and then I get double tapped. I mean, one coup missed, so I guess it's kind of fine accuracy-wise, and this most likely was a Tunguska, which has high accuracy, so yeah, just unfortunate that he was looking at it and microed the Spetsnaz GRU out of the tower, and the rocket plane was lost for no value gained at all. Also coded in a second Aufklärer here, because I did anticipate this Aufklärer to die, because I mean there was a T-80 here, the Spetsnaz GRU was pushing in, so this Aufklärer now is just kind of sitting there weirdly and not doing anything. Yeah, the supply truck here coming in to fix the BMP2. Also, I think at TO55 he just got some random sight shot on a T-72 move that wasn't able to see it, but it was able to see the move. Yeah, I guess it's too far away from my recon to spot the TO55. Even though, like, I mean, come on. I have recon looking at the forest and he shot. Like, I don't know, in my opinion, if you have recon looking at a spot and a tank shoots from there, then you should at least, like, see that something's there. I think it would still be cool if they would, you know, have it in like a layered way, so that, you know, recon spots a unit, but then they don't immediately know what type of unit it is. Which is already the case, but I mean, you can still tell what, in sense of what type of unit it is, like a tank or an anti-tank gun or infantry unit or whatever. So maybe something like just a, I don't know, a question mark on the exact location of where it fired from without the unit identification would be nice. But I don't know whether this would actually do anything. Just a random thought. Mod Aufklärer going into the tower here now. Not the Mod Aufklärer, standard Aufklärer, because as I said, it just was not really doing anything here. And there's still a recon in this area. I do have the Mi 8 PPA, but who knows for how long. Also, those Mochitsen should have been way further in the rear. No idea why I have pushed them forward so far. Don't ask me. I mean, is that like I made the decision, but I can't remember why. Now artillery coming in, because I mean, 9th Panzer doesn't have the air spam that 7th Panzer has. It has better air slots, but not the best bombers. So I decided to go for artillery this game. Helicopters here in the back. See the second Mi 8 PPA, Mi 24, being a bit of a defensive line here, together with this BMP2 and the Mordschützen. There is not really a way for him to push in here easily, even though the defensive line here is not like super expensive. Well, to be fair, the 2 helicopters here are pretty expensive. But still, like, not the biggest of defenses. Not a single tank here actually in this area. T-72 move cuts off this road, but won't help in this area. But it's still just too dangerous for him to drive in. Because of the 18 and 21 pen RPGs, he could use a T-80 BV in a matter like of seconds. So he really doesn't want to do that, which makes sense. And now with the artillery, I have also killed off his recon information. He's starting a push in the center now, though, as you might have seen. There's a recon BMP2 here. There's also a T-80 IZD somewhere in here that came in, and there's, I think, another IZD or standard BV in the forest patch here. So a bunch of units. You can see I'm pushing forward the T-72 move. I wanted to quickly snipe off the recon BMP2, but it has smoked off. Well, now it has moved forward again, so the T-72 could have actually stayed in here, but oh well. Not perfectly microed by me. I repositioned the urns further to the center to help against infantry, but I mean, so far there isn't a single infantry squad here, I think. Yes, 2 ICDs, just a bunch of tanks and a recon BMP2. Oh, the urns unfortunately won't be doing anything. But my push on the right hand side has now started. MiG-29 comes in, does kill the Mi 8 PPA. All the coups unfortunately missing, and the Shilka also took a long time to aim. I think it's because maybe the forest kind of blocked it, I don't know. So yeah, all the coups have missed. And the coup here hits the last shot, so actually gets a kill on the MiG-29. Very nice. RT now targeting the T-80 IZD on the left hand side, because it was just like sitting there, doing nothing. And I have an Aufklärer here, so obviously I have the corrected shot bonus. So I was hoping that maybe the howitzers would be able to finish it off. Got some nice hits in. Oh, maybe the last 2 shells will kill it off. And I actually do get the kill. Very, very important kill here. One Mordschützen RPG 27 here did die very unfortunately. Because as I said, it's way more important to keep them in the back as an ambush squad. He's gonna here unfortunately misses the urn. So he gets some nice damage on the Motosröki here. The Motosröki that are already obviously way worse than my Mordschützen. I mean, they also cost 10 more points. But they are also like infinitely better. They get Resolute, they get double machine gun, and a better AT launcher. Like, yeah, sure, any day of the week. With all the tanks here, do go in with the AT plane, but he smokes off in time, and the AT plane gets sniped by the Tunguska and the coup. So, not a very good use of the AT plane. Honestly, I was just hoping that he wouldn't notice, which, to be fair, kind of doesn't make any sense, because obviously he would be looking here, that's where all the action is. I have also bought in the Napalm RM-70, because there was not a lot going on. I am 400 points behind, but I thought that the sooner I buy in the Napalm RM-70, the more usage I can get out of it. And the hit here should be very, very good. One move here has died. The other one has died as well because they kind of engaged like without supporting each other. And here, very, very important kill. The Napalm does actually finish off one of the T80 ICDs that was hit by one of the T72s before. So his push has been stopped. The other ICD is also extremely low, and I mean he doesn't know that I don't have any T72s left here anymore. And even without the T72s, I still have the infantry with the very strong AT launchers. So he has to retreat. Tries to artillery the storm. Luckily though, he did miss a few shots. Now the push on the right hand side is going well, but he's bringing in the SP-24 cluster. And yeah, there's just a bunch of armored units here clumped up in the forest. And the cluster, just as you can see, has insane amount of spread. Like, you can see the cluster did go to around here, but still kill the unit here. But the coup gets the kill on the way out together with the Shilka. So yeah, I did lose a lot of units, but I killed the SP-24 in return, and that's honestly a trade that I'm willing to make. Also, the BRDM command here died either to the infantry or to the Napalm again. Also Napalm the forest, because I was assuming that he would be repairing his tanks there. So maybe getting a few kills there as well. Spreading up the Napalm barrages, which is very important. Don't just use a full barrage on one area, that's very dumb. Use about 10 rockets for a single barrage, and then stop. Because that way you can get like 8 barrages out of 2 reloads without having to call in supply to reload. That's very, very nice. Now trying to push the Mordschützen forward here, but the Tunguska will obviously stop that very quickly. So I'm trying to beat the retreat, but most likely this Mordschützen is dead because it's just already stunned to death. Me-24, they're very annoying. Didn't completely capture the right-hand side, or the sector itself. I thought that I had already finished the cap, but I didn't. So we'll need to push the SPW in for like another second. Though it shouldn't be too long. And yeah, unfortunately another SP-24 cluster comes in. And the coup is out of ammo. So the Shilka does a bit of damage, but yeah, no kill. And then the T-72 was hit by the cluster. Did smoke good off against the Me-24, but it was too late, so the T-72 M1 also dies. So yeah, the attack on the right-hand side has like failed pretty catastrophically because of the 2 SP-24s. I did kill one in return, and I did capture the sector. So overall, it's actually not the worst trade, simply because my units are so cheap. But it's also not very good. So yeah. The Aufklärer here has been killed. Fago is still alive. He was rerouting the units he still had sitting on the left-hand side to the center, which makes a lot of sense because he wasn't gaining anything in this area anyway. Like, driving through here with vehicles and being ambushed by a bunch of Mordschützen makes no sense. Rather using his T80 and BMP2 in the open here, where they are actually a lot better than my units, especially like the T-72s, because they have the less range, makes a lot more sense. Another move is coming in for the right-hand side, though I think I will reroute it to the center here. There has also been a T-72S code in here. It's not the best spot for it, because it can't use its severe at the distances, as you can see here. I mean, it can use it, but it's just... the advantage of the sphere is obviously the range. SPW on the right-hand side, by the way, dying. Mordschützen struggling to kill off the Tunguska. Do get the kill finally, though. Hallelujah. But yeah, T-72S in this position, not the best. Sorry, I had to drink. I really had a dry throat there suddenly. But now I'm repositioning it to fight the units in the center there. Tunguska unfortunately being really annoying to my helicopters. Killing off the Mi-8, so this is the second PPA down. So all the German helicopters are gone. Very sad. It's very useful to keep them alive as long as possible, because they also they still debuff recon, like at least GSR recon, and there was a bug before, I don't know whether it still exists, where they just debuffed all recon in general for some reason. I hope it has been fixed, but I'm not sure. The Me-24 here very low, but still alive. And yeah, the move coming into this position again. The ICD here has pushed up once again, together with the BRDM and the BRM. So he has recon there, the problem is he doesn't have any infantry. And that's very bad for him. The recon BMP on the right hand side is bad for me though. Foucault should be able to deal with it at some point though. And now I'm flying in with the SU-22 to get a side shot on the T-80. And I do get a beautiful side shot. He did smoke off too late. SU-22 might even survive. No, it doesn't. Gets killed off in return, which is fair. He does have a lot of air defense. But I did get the ICD in return, so that's like what, 3 ICDs down already. And he has them at double vet, so he can only have 4 of them maximum. So this might actually be the last ICD that he has, if I'm not completely mistaken. And also another T-72S in this position has come in. But yeah, with him pushing up to this forest patch, actually the S is struggling because it again can't use its sphere most effectively. Napalm coming into this area because of the coup that fired from there. In this case, I was too slow on the micro to stop the barrage before it wasted all its... I think it had like 17 missiles left in the barrage on this forest patch, which is not optimal, but hey, that happens sometimes. And then very lucky bailout here for me on the ICD. Still think, by the way, this massive bullshit that bailouts are just like completely random crits that can happen sometime. This should be like tied to, I don't know, cohesion damage or something, but why would it like fully cohesioned T-80 BV ICD suddenly bail out after one frontal hit from a move? I mean, that's just so dumb. Of course the RNG goes both ways, like the same can happen to my units, but it's just so... It's always dumb to see that. So yeah, I think this is actually all the ICDs down already. If I'm not completely mistaken. Yeah, you only get 2 cards. And he took them at double vet, so he doesn't have any ICDs anymore. Pretty sure at least. So this is very, very good. He did recapture the right hand side, of course, so he does stop the tick, or did stop the tick already. So he is still winning. But the problem is that he has lost all of his important tanks. I mean, the BV is obviously still a good tank. You know, some people might disagree, but I think the BV is a absolutely fine tank. But the ICD is just so much better. And SU-24 cluster comes in again for this forest patch here. Very nice idea, but I did micro my units out of the way, so he only got 1 T-72S with the cluster, and the cluster did go down in return because obviously I also have a very well built up AA in it at this point. T-72M1 does die to the artillery though. So 2 tanks lost overall, not the greatest. SU-24 HE coming in, getting sniped in return as well. And only get like 1 Aufklärer, so this is really not worth it. Obviously, I take the T-72S at 1 vet, so losing one of them is a little bit more painful than for other players that take them at 0 vet. I just don't like to have them at 0 vet. I don't know. I think it doesn't really do the tank too good. Because it still can be used fairly well as like a brawler. Not in the sense that you should push it into a brawl, but sometimes you just, you know, you have to use it in close range because the enemy pushes up, for example. And with Era, it's pretty decent at that. And, you know, 18 armor, Era on top. But then if you don't have veterancy, it's really hard for you. It doesn't obviously affect the rate of fire on a T-72, but the accuracy and then also the cohesion damage they take. So 3 of the T-72Ss is, I think, still more than enough. They are so expensive anyway, so I think taking them at vet 1 is definitely worth it. Now, unfortunately, he is pushing in hardcore in the center now, and I did lose all my infantry that I still had left there. The move here is pretty much also dead. So the BRM1 here hitting me. Very sad. But the thing is, because I know that he routed all of his units from the left-hand side to the center, I know that the left-hand side now has to be open. So I'm just pushing in my command here. I do spot 2 infantry squads that were just randomly sitting in this building there, which was very weird. Units here are starting to move forward, move here, BMP2. So a lot of fire support, trying to get the command into the sector here. But unfortunately, he quickly repositions the units from this building into this building and then snipes the command. And this is actually a very good trick, because if they jump out on this side and get into this building, they can kind of get from this point to this point extremely quickly and sideshot your stuff. I mean, in this case, for the SPW, obviously it wouldn't matter if it's a sideshot or not. But I lost my command here, which is pretty annoying. because that will set me back for quite some time until I get a new command in. And he has gotten his command into the center. The Sturm unfortunately didn't get to hit it in time. I think it's a little bit... could have been a little bit further forward as well. And it's stunned, so it wasn't optimal for fighting off the enemy. But this will put him at a +4 tick again. Not the greatest news, honestly. Sturm, I think, was still called in aggressively into this position here, but obviously the center has completely fallen for me now. I am kind of face-taking the Motostrelki here, simply because I have so much stuff that I really don't care. I just want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. This is, I think, yeah, this is one of his Euros, I think, that I captured. So, he does snipe it, so I don't get to use his supplies. Very sad. But all of the infantry here is now dead. The problem is, though, that because of the snipe of the command tank that I brought in now will take forever to get to the front line. And he's at a +4 tick. And this is not the greatest news for me, because, I mean, you can get a pretty good tick on the map, but then you have to push the enemy either very far, or you have to push him like out of this area and then go to the center again. So this is just making it harder for me, to like put it in a very simple way. Also, no air defense on the left side, because I was just so focused on all the other stuff that this one Mi-24 is now a problem, as always. Like, this was my first league game where I, you know, remembered my old weakness of forgetting to buy in AA for my big pushes. I am rerouting the Coupe now further forward, but obviously the Coupe, I mean, you can use it against helicopters. It's not like forbidden. It has 2,825 meter range, but because of its low accuracy, it's not very... it's not the best use case in my opinion, at least. Spot some units there, so put a napalm on it. Napalm should have reloaded. Also, always have a command together with the napalm, because it reduces the reload time between the two reloads by like a whole minute, which is very useful. Move on the left hand side does die to the helicopter, I guess, but the napalm here does great damage, kills off one Motostrelki and a BMP-2. Bomber is coming in. That should be his last bomber though, and this is an HE bomber. Yeah, so it's not even that bad. The problem is just that I can't use my tanks here now, because he has this stupid Mi-24 there. The Igla is out of range. No idea what the Recon BMP-2 was doing there. I honestly do not understand why. I have more units in this area again, because I was again assuming that if I attack heavily here, he will be starting to reroute his units to the left, and then I can use those units to swoop in and quickly recapture the center again. BMP-2s are annoying and fighting my T-72S, but the other T-72s from the right hand side can now swoop in and get some nice side shots. Though they are very cohesion damage from the HE bomber. The HE bomber didn't do a lot of like actual HP damage, but just the cohesion damage is very annoying, because the T-72s already don't have the best accuracy, and now their accuracy is even worse. It's just missing all over the place. Do smoke off the T-72S here and retreated, because he was also starting to artillery it, and I mean, I've lost one of them already. I really don't want to lose a second one. And yeah, was there another napalm? No, I didn't use the napalm yet for another push in, for another barrage. But there are two T-80BVs pushing up now, very aggressively to this position, which is very well done by him, because he knows that there's like a T-72S here that's very low. But then he notices that the T-72S isn't there anymore, and there could be Motschützen side-shotting him, so better to retreat, better be safe than sorry. Especially in this case, where he is still ahead in points, but he has lost a lot of very important units, as I said, so he needs to be very careful. BMP-2s here engaging the T-80BV, get a nice hit on it, already on like low cohesion. My T-72 command has driven through here and captured the territory. We'll need more infantry though as a screening force on the left hand side, honestly. Because I only have like the two Motschützen that are on the far left, and then the one Aufklärer that is already fairly low HP. The Motoraufklärer here now a little bit struggling against two Motostrelki, and the T-72S didn't really want to use it at this point in time. Mi-29 comes in, gets a hit on the Mi-24 radar, unfortunately, because it was already super low cohesion. Coupe gets a hit in return, not a kill though, unfortunately. Shuka was still too far away to get the little bit of extra damage on. And the units here are sitting in the forest for a little bit too long. Obviously, SnowWolfie isn't dumb. put his artillery on it. A coup here again out of ammo because I was just using supply like there's no tomorrow. Mortarflieger does finally die. But I also know that his T-80s are sitting somewhere in here. So I put my artillery on it, but then I see that driving out, so I instantly cancel the barrage again. Kind of sad. I should have used it earlier, honestly. Just waited too long, but was too busy microing the left-hand side and setting up the engagements here and trying to not lose all of my units, specifically the T-72S in the middle here. But now I'm moving up. The Mordschützen, together with the T-72 support, should be able to just basically move over the open into range of the T-80BV. Now also still decided to maybe put the RM-70 on it, but then still decided against it and put it on the forest in the back, where I saw the other T-80. In this case, by the way, also a mistake, should have put it further in the back, because obviously this area of the forest will now be completely devoid of napalm, which is the whole point of the exercise. Mordschützen taking a lot of damage on their way in, but now I think they one-shot the T-80BV. Did it turn side armor or something? Yeah, it was showing side armor. Oh no. Yeah, this is why the 21 pen tandem round is so insanely good. Yeah, the units here have all died. The units in the back are either dead or have been pushed back to the edge of the forest. The T-72S here has been repaired together with the T-72 M1. Have cleaned out all the infantry here. I am taking recon there though, but recon is coming in. RM-70 still has 2 barrages left before it even needs to be reloaded. T-72s here are fighting a shit ton of BMP-2s. And the BMP-2 here unfortunately sniped the command tank, which was a very bad mistake. Should have retreated it a little bit differently, but you know, mistakes were made. So yeah, that's very unfortunate. T-72 here will be able to deal with the SPW Conquerors. So very nice that I still had it in reserve back there. Does snipe the almost full supply truck before that though, so that's very unfortunate because I could have used it very well to repair all those tanks there. Oh, definitely a mistake by me. Units here have now arrived. Pretty much are driving straight through. I don't know whether the napalm here or the flames will still do damage. But oh god, the M1 gets a beautiful side shot on the T-80BV, and then also capture his supply trucks here. Very nice, because again I will need the supply trucks to repair all of my stuff here. Command is on the way. Again, I forgot that this is amphibious, so I was just like shift clicking it into the sector because a normal unit would obviously just drive around. But this is now, I mean, this is just wasting time. That's the problem about it. I don't think it's wasting fuel. I'm not sure about that. I think it's using more fuel as usual in water as well. But it's also just slow. And there is a T-80BVK coming into this sector. And because my T-72 command was sniped, I can't contest him right now. And I also don't have any infantry left here anymore. There is infantry coming into the center, which I don't really need that much. I also don't only have 1 infantry squad left here, so maybe it's not the worst idea. But in general, I'm just really lacking a screening force here. I don't have any infantry, I don't have any recon here. Luckily, T-80BV misses the Shilka. So, yeah, the left-hand side is like... It's not looking too good, but also not too bad. I'm also still not taking yet, and it's only 7 minutes left. Once I capture the sector, I will be at a +4. But I wasn't sure that this would be enough. Putting artillery on the building there, but I mean, the Mordschützen, the Motorstryke are already getting out. Napalm RM-70 still has its 20 shots left. BRDM here, awkwardly sitting next to the Mortarflieger, which can't... Oh, they still have 1 RPG-18 left, actually. Oh, I thought they were out of ammo. Oh, never mind. The Forgo, though, is out of ammo, so this can't do anything. Also, I had a second defensive line here set up with another Forgo and the Mortarflieger, as you can see. Because I thought that he might try to push through here, honestly, after he killed all of my units here in the beginning, but he never did actually, so well, whatever. And yeah, the T-80BVK is now in the zone, capturing infantry here. I did reroute it to the left, so the Mordschützen will be able to help me out. I also decided to just push through with the BMP-2 there, because like the T-80BVK alone is just such a massive investment here on the left-hand side, and with all the losses he has taken, I assumed that there can't be a lot here. And actually the BMP-2 is just driving through, as you can see. There's literally nothing there. Could have also taken those T-72s at this point in time, honestly, and also rerouted them there. But I didn't want to get too cocky at this point in time, to be fair. because I'm still behind in points. Move here also very unfortunately going down to the T80, and this move struggling against the BMP2 because of the lower accuracy of the T72s. It can really hamper you in these situations. Luckily the Motor Strike there missed, but they were also at super low cohesion, so you know, that's honestly fair. Ural here being sniped once again. Have pushed up the artillery a lot further forward as well, because, I mean, why not? At this point in time, it really doesn't matter. Motor Strike here getting some nice damage on the move, but it's only the RPG-22, so not that much damage done. And now we'll finish off with the Shulker very quickly. Another BV here. So he still has tanks left, but no ICDs. The BV2 here unfortunately missed the Akatse with its Conquerors. That was very sad. Could have, I mean, it's not like it's going to be the deciding kill at this point in time. Our killing of artillery in the last 5 minutes is obviously painful, but it's not as, you know, as valuable as if I would have killed it off in like the first 10 or 15 minutes, or even after 20 minutes. But overall, at this point I was feeling like I was getting a massive momentum going over him. Even with all the losses I had taken, I'm just constantly being able to reinforce the line with more and more shit, and he can't keep that up. Just because of, like, one of those T80 BVs is already so expensive. It's 265 points. While if you look like at one move, it's 180. Even after the nerfs, that's still not that much. S24, yeah, right. HE coming in. Let's get a good bombing run. Doesn't kill too much, but 2 of the infantry squads are now super low. Coups also miss. Oh man, maybe? Oh, it does get a kill on the way out. Oh, nice. 2 coups have actually vetted up twice this game. That's kind of insane. Also had the AT plane loitering in the back all this time. I wanted to snipe the command tank, but I was just constantly losing line of sight of it. So that's why it has been circling in the back for like forever at this point. T-72S is now also being pushed in a super close range. And that's what I mean, like in these situations, it's just very useful to have it at Vet 1. I know, yeah, you get 2 less, but as I said, I just don't think that's that much of a problem. The other T-72S is also already on the way. T-72 command tank is capturing the zone. Su-22 AT snipes the T-80 BVK finally. BMP2 here still in an ambush position, though I don't know how much it will do against... How many is that? I think 6 BMP2s, also no idea what he was doing all this time. He's now calling in 6 Mordschützen in BMP2s, like that's kind of weird. He would have needed them a lot earlier. But, oh well. The tanks here also just still sitting there defensively. I was too afraid to move them away. Reason being that I didn't want him to just, for example, drive in with the 6 BMP2s and overwhelm the area here. And with 2 tanks still being there, you know, they can defend this reasonably well. As I said, I was artillerying this BRDM because I was assuming that this mod off-clear was out of ammo, but it still actually had 1 RPG left. Well, well, that's interesting. Krupp does retreat the MiG-23, but I mean, those are not flying around, they can't do anything. Well, I guess they're holding back my Air Force, but I'm not using any Air Force right now anyway. The T-72S here has actually also vetted up. You can see it's now, together with the command tank, it's triple vet actually. And he is now driving with his VMP2s into the center, so just as I said, what he should have been doing, but I mean, they just stand no chance, especially close range against the T-72 M1. There's nothing they can do together with the other T-72 there, even though it misses at double vet, the Mao. Yeah, there's no way. Also, there's no command together with them anyway. The T-72s here are getting hit by a bunch of ATGMs that I can't see, which is fair because I don't have any recon up there. This recon should have been moved up further at this point in time, honestly. It's not like anything will stop it. And I mean, I'm at a +4, but there's only 2 minutes left, and I really wasn't sure whether this would be enough. It's also why I'm just driving in the SPW here on the right-hand side, just in case. Because I really wanted to make sure to win this game. I didn't want to use it in like the last minutes just because I didn't tick enough. And I wasn't sure about the rules, whether, you know, draws are allowed in the group stage or not. And again, I didn't want to find out the hard way. MiG-23 should go down its way out. Yeah, it does, finally. Do get neutralized here on the right-hand side. Most likely will go down though to the BRDMs. This is at +5, so this should be enough, and the T-72 here should also be able to get in if it doesn't get sniped by the Motor Strike, and it doesn't. So Very lucky for me. But on the other hand, also I don't think this would have changed much at this point. Like, I mean, I'm at a +7, but probably a +5 would have also been enough. Though I'm not completely sure. I would still have the +5 because of this area. So I don't know whether it would have been enough, but he surrendered anyway. So, very nice win. 2-0 against SnowWolfie. Was very happy with that, especially for the first game in the league. Defeating such a good player. I mean, what is he ranked right now? Yeah, 17. So, you know, he knows what he's doing. Only has 5 games with Pact. Okay, that's interesting. Also funny that he played both of his games against me with a Pact division. Yeah, also very nice KD, like over 10,000 kills. That's pretty insane, considering that SnowWolfie still had stuff left towards the end. Like, not a lot, obviously, but 10,000 kills. That's a lot. I don't get 10,000 kills in 1v1 a lot of times. Probably never. But, yeah. The SF22 AT here did do a good job. I mean, it's not 2 TO55s and an IZD. So this one performed very well. Just, I think the other 203 AT planes didn't do anything or just didn't do a lot. And then the rocket plane also just completely shit the bed. So, yeah, air usage was better than last game, but still not the best. Just the ground play was what honestly won me the game. The early push through the center and holding the left-hand side and not letting him push through too early was extremely important. Also, the early artillery buy was, in my opinion, the absolutely right call to make. Killing one of the ICDs was also so insanely good. At top of it, you only get 4 of them. And I had killed all 4 of them at like, what, the 20-minute mark or even the 15-minute mark. So, yeah, very, very good call. Even though the artillery didn't get too many kills overall. Yeah, the other one only got 2 kills, which is nice to have it. The Napalm RM-70 though did get a good kill list. Again, 1 ICD command. I mean, the Eagler not that valuable, but 2 Motor Strike here with 2 BMP2s, that was also super nice. And the coup here, keeping the skies clear for me. Oh, the coup itself only got 1 of the cluster planes and then 3 fighters. I guess the other bombers either died to another coup or to the Shilka, probably. Yeah, this mod off clear on the right hand side also did get a lot of kills actually, and also very important kills like the Tunguska, Recon BMP2 and the BRDM Conquerors, and then the enemy mod Razvedka, so absolute hero. And then that, yeah, this T-72S is the one that vetted up, I think. You can see also an absolutely amazing kill list. 1 IZD, 1 BV, obviously shit tons of BMP2s, and then also the Akatsya. Very nice. Yeah, that's the other coup. They got SF-24 and 2 SF-24s, and then the Eagler also getting the other SF-24. Honestly, at this point, I think it's better to take the SF-25 rocket card instead of the SF-24 HE. You get 3 of them, and like, sure, you can't use them to, for example, delete a forest line or something. But you can also use them against tanks because of the gun. If you get side shots together with the rockets, I can still do a lot of damage, while the SF-24 HE just never does anything against tanks. And also is like pretty hit or miss against infantry. It's a good bomber, don't get me wrong. But the SF-25 is also cheaper, and you get 3 of them per card. So I think that's the play. The SF-24 cluster is obviously still pretty broken. It's not broken, it's just extremely good. This BMP1, also, what the hell? When did that happen? Jesus Christ. Okay, this one got a lot of kills. Yeah, again, just so many BMP2s that you have to deal with when you play against 79. Yeah, and on this map, I just don't think there are that many areas where you can use BMP2s effectively against T-72s. I think the T-72s are actually better on this map. A BMP2 killing a T-80BV, nice. Oh, this SF-22 also did get the command BV in the end, yeah, so this one was also okay. Oh, more shots than RPG-27 with a nice side shot on the T-80BV. I don't think I'm not sure whether 21 pen on its own would be enough for a side shot one-shot kill. But even if it wouldn't be, just because of the tandem, they do get a one-shot kill. That was so nice, so clean. Yeah, just so many kills to go through. Another Mochitsen killing another T-80BV. Just having the high pen RPGs is so nice. Just in general, everything you have in the East German division is just nice. You have resolute infantry that you can even take a double vet if you take enough infantry cards. They're double machine gun. They have good AT launchers with good range and good penetration. Yeah, your tanks aren't the best, but they're still reasonably cheap and reasonably well armored, and you get a lot of them. And they have autoloaders, and they also get smoke, or you take the super cheap ones that don't have smoke, but they're super cheap. And in this division specifically, you then also have the expensive tank with the fantastic ATGM. You have great air tabs. I mean, even in this division, I mean, you get 4 AT planes. That on its own is already more than good enough, in my opinion. AA is like standard packed AA, which is always great, like good. It's not great per se, but it's just always good. It does the job, and that's what you needed to do for a very reasonable price, while also being mobile and armored. Great artillery, especially in this division with the Napalm RM-70. Yeah, sure, the Akaze is like an okay artillery piece, but it's still like an armored SPG. Again, it does its job. And the Napalm RM-70 is just, it's borderline broken, honestly. It's very expensive, so it's kind of fine, but it's such an insanely powerful area denial tool. Yeah, as I said, everything is just nice. Even the limited recon type in this division is okay, because you all get the Mi-8 PPA, and then you also get exceptional recon on all of the divisions because of the BRM. I just love them. Such fantastic divisions. Yeah, BMP2, 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 BMP2 everywhere. On this side, I mean, the IZDs also, I don't think they got anything too crazy. I mean, here, yeah, sure, you're getting one move, a Fargo and a BMP1. I think that, like, pays off the IZD, but, like, 1-to-1, that's just not the play against a division that can outspam you. Those units really need to get their value. Like his T64, what was it, the B1V did in last game? That's what you need them to do. Mi-24 here definitely did get a lot of value because I, again, didn't have my AA up because I'm fucking dumb. This is the first cluster bomber, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it didn't even get that insane of a kill list. I mean, BMP2, BRM1, and BMP1. It's not that insane. Like, not a single tank. Jakarta here getting a T-72 M1 and a Sturm. That was nice, though. For sure. And this one also, only one Shulk and one T-72S, and I think both of them got sniped on their first use. Because I mean, I was kind of lucky, to be fair, but I also did have my AA net set up, so I would kind of expect it to do at least something. Especially because, I mean, his coups also did their job fairly well. I mean, it's not like his AA didn't do this job as well. And I mean, did the other ICDs even do anything? Did they just die? I mean, this one here got some kills and this one here got some, so that's 2. The other 2 just go down without even getting a single kill. I mean, that would be very unfortunate. I think they did. Oh god. Yeah, and then obviously, I mean, the TAD-BVK did hold its own on the left-hand side pretty well. Got 3 moves, but yeah, it's just, at this point, you just get overwhelmed by T-72 hordes, and that's how you play the division. And this snipe here was also very painful. But yeah, Lemao, the BRM1 got a T-72 move. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that was a nice 2-0. So that put me also 2-0 up in general. We all got a free win against Kryjev because he got disqualified because he's an idiot. And I'm pretty sure that this meant that I was through to playoffs almost either way, no matter how the games against Kamal went. But even, you know, with the little bit of pressure that I wanted to at least win one game against Kamal, I still felt pretty good because, as I said, SnowWolfie is a very good player, and getting a 2-0 win against him, even with the unlucky disconnect in the first game, just very, very nice. And the second game was an absolutely fair win, like, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, enough rambling. Hope you enjoyed it, and the next video will probably be my games against Kamal. Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have a beautiful day, and bye-bye.